Reverend Fathers, everyone here today. Since I arrived in Kimberley yesterday, I have been met with nothing but friendship and hospitality from everyone. Today I went shopping with Brother Donald, and I was introduced to so many people in the supermarkets and elsewhere that knew Liam and had very fond memories of him. I think I met half the people of Kimberley today. I learned so much more about Liam and the wonderful work he has done here in Kimberley since he arrived here 22 odd years ago. Brother Donald also told me so many things about Liam that I hadn't known before. He referred to him as a living, working saint. Liam was the fifth of 7 children of my departed parents, Robert and Ida. As he was just 1.5 years younger than me, he was my mentor. He was also my tormentor, but he was my friend as we grew up. He was the natural leader of the gang of friends we hung around with in our neighbourhood, and he was my protector within that group. When we got up to mischief, and Liam did get up to mischief when he was young, Liam had the ability to shift the blame off himself, and I was left more often than not carrying the can. And I got punished for it. Yet I always admired him. And when big trouble came, Liam looked after me. Once, when we were very young, my mother banished us from the house for coming home very late. I was terrified, but Liam immediately removed the bikes from our shed out the back and made a makeshift bed with old clothes and rags to sleep on. He always knew what to do in a crisis. On another occasion, and I shouldn't mention this in front of the bishop, we were robbing apples from trees in one of our neighbours' gardens when the neighbour came out and caught us. Liam quickly escaped, but when he realised that I was about to be caught, he came back and rescued me. My parents were very proud of Liam as a young boy of 14 when he decided to join the Christian Brothers, and equally proud when he was professed some years later and took the name of Pius. He served in 6 different schools in Ireland and was promoted to principal teacher. But as principal, he always wanted to be in the classroom, teaching children. He was always an innovator in his teaching methods, and he was at the forefront in introducing technology in the early years of computers and IT systems. But he gave it all up to return to the original principles of Blessed Edmund Rice, which was to help and educate the poor and those who are less well off. Occasionally, as I travel around Ireland, I may call into one of the schools in which Liam served in. And like in Kimberley, he is remembered with fond memories. On the last occasion when he was home in Ireland, we visited a Gaelic, that's an Irish football and hurling club, which was associated with the school in which he had served in that area. We were welcomed with open arms, and the club members were instantly able to show Liam photographs of himself which adorned the walls of the clubhouse. That was a wonderful tribute to him, that he was recognised and appreciated after all those years. I know Liam will be missed by the remaining members of his family. His brother Eamon, his sisters Anne, May and Deirdre, and as you heard, Deirdre, along with her husband Liam, travelled out to Kimberley to be with Liam. About 12 years ago, my elder brother was very sick with cancer and he was dying in Ireland. Liam came from Kimberley to be with my brother, but my brother died just before, or just as Liam arrived. He didn't get to see him. Now, this year, my sister and her husband came out to be with Liam before he died. And Liam died just as they arrived in the airport. So history has repeated itself. Hopefully, my family and friends will be looking in online tomorrow at the funeral mass. When Deirdre and I return to Ireland, there will be a further mass in memory of Liam. In addition to his extended family, which includes nieces and nephews and friends in Ireland, I know that he will be missed in Kimberley, and especially by brother Donald Madden, his long colleague and friend here. He will also be missed by those he cared for and who cared for him. I would especially like to mention nurses Ina and Olga, who cared for him in his last days. Marnie Storm, a dear friend of Liam, who travelled from California, USA, to be with Liam in his last days, and who held his hand as he passed from this life. His friends, two Peters, who are here today. And of course, Brother Dominic, who came to look after Liam after he had his operation last June, and who returned in December again to look after him. Thank you, Dominic. Lastly, may I, on behalf of Deirdre and the rest of my family, say thanks to all of those who made today a special day and who are also organising the funeral mass and funeral tomorrow. Gariep Mila Machagut, which is the Irish saying for 1,000 thanks to all of you. My daughter Aisling recorded a special hymn in Irish, which will be played after I shut up and sit down. As it will be in Irish, I thought I might speak the words in English to you so you would know what the song is about. Christ is the seed, Christ is the harvest. Into God's barn may we be brought. Christ is the sea, Christ is the fish. In the nets of God may we be caught. From birth to age, from age to death, may your two arms, O Christ, be around us. From death to the end, not the end, but a rebirth. In the paradise of graces, may we be. Thank you all.
Brothers, I got to grow him up. They were always there for me with all kinds of help. They put him through school, they helped me with food and with finances. But Brother Liam was so special. He was selfless. You know, he was dedicated, committed, and he used to sacrifice, not him alone, but Brother Madden too. You know, Sunday I was very upset and emotional. And I asked God today to give me the strength to come and bid farewell to a friend, to a brother, to everything. Brother Liam was very kind, and I had the opportunity of meeting his two sisters, May and Anne, with their husbands, Tony and John. He used to visit me at my place because we loved this boy. His name was Neo. And Brother Liam used to call Neo my friend. And so we used to sit and drink tea at my place and took photos. I've got some of the photos here. And then they used to send me some cards Christmas time from Ireland. But let me leave that part. Brother Liam was so kind. Me and Sister Angela used to go to the old prison, which they call Bochum, to take the word of God to the prisoners there and to pray with them. We started at the women's department, and later on we could see what they wanted as Bibles, all kinds of Thuto Bible, English Bible. As a sister here, we are being used now, they've had enough of the wordless leaven. We went to the juveniles, and they used to listen, but I noticed something because I know how to speak many languages. We used to give them these books, some books, but I noticed these books are becoming so thin and thin. And I asked one of the prison wardens, what's happening to these Bibles? He said, you mustn't bring these Bibles to these children anymore. They're smoking holy cigarettes. And I asked one of them, come give me that book. No, it's mine. I said, I'm not taking it away. And I opened it, there was hardly this. And I said, sister, you see what these guys are doing? Sister says, I said, no, not They're very naughty, they don't listen to what we're telling. But there were some of them who participated in the Bible with us on questions here and there. I don't want to waste time. But we had a beautiful time, and Brother Liam would drive us. And when he was committed at Thuto, we would always ask Brother Madden. And we want to thank God for their lives. These people are so selfless. They left their places where they were born, and they came to South Africa, especially St Boniface, many of them, and they stayed their entire lives here. And on the side of St Vincent Paul, he was also a very great help. This kitchen at the back belonged to the Thuto. But whenever, especially on the 16th of December, when we were preparing for the elderly of our church, the kitchen was always free. And he said to me, I'm going to give you the code of the alarm. Don't give it to anybody. You hear me? Okay, brother. And then he would give me, and I would switch on and off and come to church to come and see if the old people are all right. But there was this one occasion, I must share it with you. I locked the place and threw the alarm on. And then they called me, come, the people have brought the ice cream. And we ran to the back, and I just opened, and that siren was screaming. And I was panicking, and I ran to the door and opened it. TSS was already here. They looked at me, they said, what is happening? I said, no, we're using the kitchen. I'm very sorry. Please forgive me. I forgot that I put the alarm on. He says, when you're working here at the kitchen, you must always try to switch off the alarm because you're nearby. I said, okay, forgive me, I'm apologizing. And Brother Liam was like, what did you do now? Nothing, brother. Why is he screaming like this? I said, I'm sorry. I don't know how many stories have I said. He says, okay, it's all right. And then, you know, when we go to the retreats and everything, Brother would give us a kumi. He says, now you listen carefully to me. I'm giving you this kumi full of petrol, a full tank. No scratch, you bring it back like this with a full tank. And that is what we exactly did. But I want to give special thanks to Olga Machele. On the 24th, she kept on telling me that Brother Liam is not well. I said, I can't walk so far anymore. I've got a problem with my legs, and I feel very sad because we don't even go and hold these morning services, because we usually went there on Friday and Mondays. When the priests were off, we would hold the service there. But now, because of things are changing, and with the COVID regulations, COVID-19 regulations, everything changed. But Olga took me there on the 24th. And Brother Dominic said to me, you must only spend 3 minutes with me. I said, okay, I will do that. I was with my daughter. And I was sitting there talking to Brother Liam, and he asked me to fix the pillows, and we spent at least 20 minutes. It was me and my daughter and him. And Brother Dominic came and said, are you not done yet? I said, no, I'm just going to say a prayer, and then I will leave him in peace.
CBC brothers who are here, thank you so much for coming. Normally, I'm not the person who prepares speeches, I talk from the heart. But when I was told that I'm the one who's going to say something as a parish priest, I spent at least 2 hours preparing a 20-page speech. Now, when I was just sitting there listening to the speakers of the day, and I looked at my speech, I said, they've just said everything that I prepared in my speech. So I said, let me just put my speech aside and come to say thank you to you all who prepared those speeches. Everything that you said about Brother Liam, it is really the truth. I encountered him the first time when I came here as a student. That was 2008. I was still doing philosophy 1, so I came to do my pastoral work here. So I would always see him during the morning masses, a tall guy or a tall brother. So anyway, he was not somebody who will talk, we'll greet each other, then go back to their house. On Fridays, we celebrate mass in their house there. So what I really, it's not a joke, but I saw it funny. So every time when we celebrate mass, we'll be sitting at the back. So you'll make sure that you'll be the last man coming to receive communion. And when you give them the chalice, you will make sure that you finish everything. And again, I came here as an intern. You are still strong, still kicking. We'll just greet each other as always. You go to their house. Sometimes I'll go and see how are they doing in the Kuskolong Sabana. But I was not fully in charge or fully paying attention. I'll just go and visit to see what's going on there. And then last week Friday, I was called by Mayor Babu Singh to say, brother is very sick. He really needs the anointing of the sick. So I left everything. I went to their house there and I gave him the part course, the Gariep. So I spent at least 30 minutes of him talking. You could see the brother was at peace. He accepted the sickness. He accepted the situation. You are somebody who was ready to be taken by the Lord. And I promised him that I'll come to see you again after 2 weeks. But I was called, saying, no brother, it's no more. So I was so deeply disturbed because of, it seems like I did not fulfill my promises. But the 2 weeks was not yet finished. So I was going to come and see him and spend time with him. Now, as a parish priest of St Boniface, I would like to challenge all the people that really brother made an impact in their lives. You have been saying how good he was, how he started the school at Thuto, how he went out to the poor to reach out to change their lives. Now he is no more. It is our task now as the community to continue the legacy of brother, to continue this legacy, to go out and reach to those who are not able to go to school, those who are in the street. It is our mandate and it is our call as Christians to reach out for the poor. So as a community, I will be leading you to go out to the poor and to help those who are in need. Thank you so much.
In 2005, when I volunteered at Thuto, and then as the years gone by, he started trusting me with everything. That's true what Mr. Mafuke said. You always wanted to be at the back, and then he would teach us how to lead. But he was very, very passionate about teaching. And that's how I came to learn about the street kids that he was helping, the ones in need. I remember this one day when we went into town, and then he was a customer at Banino's where he got his bread. And then he said, you should see how this guy would react when I just walk in. The owner of Banino was this grumpy old man. He would like, when he sees Brown, and because I speak Afrikaans, then Banino said, just watch and you see. These are the things that Brother Liam had to go through whilst he had to feed the kids. I don't think everybody knows that he had to go through a lot to get what the people needed in our community. but he was very, very patient with them. That is why I've wrote something that says, a golden heart has stopped beating. Death is as natural as life, and all of us must deal with it, with the death of a loved one. At some point in our lives, as much as we know that death is inevitable, we are never quite prepared to deal with it. When we are overwhelmed with grief, we can find peace in the words of others or songs to help us through the grieving process. When I'm talking about songs, I'm talking about Brother Liam, because he enjoyed music. He was passionate about his music. He was so photogenic. He would take photos and make pictures out of us. And then there was one picture that he took from me whilst I was in the classroom. Because now I was teaching Afrikaans, and then when you teach Afrikaans, it seems as if you are very loud, and Afrikaans is this rovertaal. And as I was teaching, he came in and he said, "Yo, Mercy, what did you just do?" I said, "No, brother, I was busy teaching." And the kids were like, "No, brother, you can go, it's okay." And it was his period at the time, and it was like, "Your time." I said, "No, brother, you come back during my period because that's after break." And then he came back with a picture, and then he drew a dragon. That's how I came to be known as the dragon. As the dragon lady, because whenever I taught in class, it was like I was spitting fire. That's Brother Liam for you. He could mingle pictures in such a way that you ask yourself, wow. And he was very creative in doing that. And to the family, I'd like to say to you, thank you very much for giving us such a wonderful person. I think the angels are rejoicing in heaven as I'm speaking. I don't think I know that they are rejoicing. For everything comes from God alone, and everything lives by His power, and everything is for His glory. That's how Brother Liam lived his life. We all have the ability to do certain things. God gave us, if God gave you the ability, the gift of serving others, let's serve them well. When God's children are in need, you need to help them. I think I've quoted this from the book of Romans chapter 11 and chapter 12. That's how Brother Liam lived his life. And he lived his life to the fullest. And then to the street kids, I don't know what to say to them because I'm representing them also. And then everybody was like, "Ma'am, mercy, ma'am." And I was like, these are my kids. And Brother Liam has taught us that just as the way that you are, so they are. It's just that they come from different backgrounds. And that is why every time when we delivered our reports, we do door to door, we go to each and every house. We get the combi at 8 o'clock, and Brother Liam knew that his combi will only get back the next day, because then he knows that afterwards we need to go and relax somewhere. That's what Brother Liam was. And then lastly, I'm going to quote a verse from the Bible. And then before I sit down, I'm going to sing a hymn for him, because I think there was a time when he said I must come so that he can record it. But then I remember there was a time that I don't know whether it was his nephew or someone. And then all of a sudden, he was singing in the choir, and the Brother Liam would go, ding, 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 then the cats would meow, meow. And I said, Brother Liam, I'm an African, me and cats, we don't mingle well. So Luke 2 says, "Now Lord, let your servant go in peace according to your word, for my eyes have seen your salvation." Caring is a gift that no one can buy. It's made out of love that roots in our hearts, and it creates memories not just for a while, but for a lifetime. Thank you very much to the Mullally family for allowing us, for experiencing the life that we had with Brother Liam. And
Bishop, priests, the Christian brothers, the family of the late Brother Liam, and the congregation as all. It's a bit difficult for me to be standing up here. I must say, I must have been about 10 or 11 when I met Brother Liam. That was probably around 2006, 2007. I was a student at Thuto. Well, at least that is how our relationship started. But it will later grow into him being a father figure to me. He has been with me ever since then. a little over a decade and a half that we have had that particular relationship. I remember when I first met him, I could barely speak a word of English, but he was with me throughout that. He taught me a lot. I did try to write something here, but Lord, no words could really explain the amount of time that I spent with him. Because not only did he help me, also got a sibling that he helped. And because of that particular help, there's a generation of a Mullally family that is going to resolve those awards. Not only the Mullally family, but also the people that will also be able to touch as we live on this particular life. Brother Liam, throughout my Thuto when I spent about a year at Thuto, and from there he helped me financially to attend St Boniface. Started grade 8 at St Boniface right up until retreat. Further went on to study in Bloemfontein at CUT. Beyond, even during that particular time, we still had that particular relationship. I will always come back home. We'll sit around the round table in the kitchen, a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and some biscuits. And a lot of stories were told, spanning over a decade and a half. I mean, must have started him being just my maths teacher, but there's so much that I learned from him. One of the stories that I really remember vividly is he actually taught me how to drive. Those lessons didn't really last that long, must have been about 3 lessons, I think. But the 4th time he handed me the car keys, I was with Miss Stone, and he said, look, I need help, I need transport kids throughout the location. And yes, I was in the car, but worry not, no traffic violations. We're controlling, I already had my learners, and Miss Stone was a seasoned driver, so. And yes, indeed, I was able to drive around, and I went to test about my license. I guess he believed in me that much. His belief did really not just end there. I remember when I went to university, I never really had a computer at home. I never really used one either. And he taught me the ins and outs of it. Unfortunately, as I learned much about the computer, years later I would be the one that will teach him the ins and outs of the computer. Now, he was one selfless person, I must say. Don't really ever remember him complaining about anything. One of those stories that I don't really remember is I would usually come back on holidays. I would help him drive around, feeding kids in Galeshewe, the street kids in town, and a couple of homes where he would drop off food, whereby the ladies, in one of the ladies, that was just a period. It was one of those homes whereby children can always go and ask for some bread for. Remember one of the times we were driving and one of the guys that we were handing out the bread to was not really happy with the amount that we got. They continued to bang onto the kungi. And he did not really retaliate, just closed the car doors and he left. And he could realize that I was really irritated. And he said, worry not, Michael, don't be irritated. We don't do this because they like us. We do this because they need us. And I have carried such lessons with me throughout. I wish I would really tell the lots that we had communicated about throughout the relationship. But unfortunately, I'll probably cry up here. But thank you very much. May his dear soul rest in peace.
Praise be to our Lord Jesus Christ and Mary Immaculate Queen. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters in Christ. I'm standing here this afternoon as the nurse, but I want to say that I will not be speaking as Brother Liam's nurse because I was not alone. And I'm be speaking here, I'm going to be telling you about a support group because I was not alone in looking after Brother Liam. We were a group. Brother Madden, I'll list that group. Brother Madden was the main member of this group because he was with Brother Liam 24 hours around the clock. And us, we would come in as, as time goes on. And then Brother Dominic. Brother Dominic, who is a childhood friend of Brother Liam from the age of 12. When he heard that his friend is not well from Zambia, then he came to come and assist us. And that is why I'm saying that we are a group. It's not one person. This was a group effort. Brother Dominic helped a lot, really was doing a lot. The cooking that had been done, used to be done by Brother Liam, because of Brother Madden's age, that his hands can no longer feel. He couldn't feel the heat, so Brother Liam was doing all that. So when Brother Dominic came, he did all that, took that over, and the cleaning, etc. The third on the list is none else but Brother Liam's family in Ireland. Even if they were here, they were not here physically, they were here spiritually, because they supported Brother Liam spiritually and us. Brother Liam used to sit and wait for 4 o'clock every day. We knew that Brother Liam was expecting a call or was going to have a call with his family. And we also, the support group, got the same assistance, spiritual assistance and support from his family. I'll therefore say that Brother Liam, we cannot say that Brother Liam was nursed. Brother Liam started being sick, ill in June, the past year, by the way, we're in 2023. And there is also another list of members that I haven't mentioned, and that is, I'm sorry, I do not know the surname very well, but it's Mr. Peter Mania and Stini Mangiola from CBC. And they are the ones that transported Brother Liam to Bloemfontein for his operation. And then the next on the list is Brother de Klerk, as Brother Liam called him. Here in South Africa, we say Brother de Klerk. And he said Brother de Klerk. So, Brother de Klerk and Belinda Gilberton who are in Boksburg. And Brother de Klerk and his assistant, Belinda Gilberton, they did a very sterling job because they dealt with the logistics. Without those logistics, we wouldn't have been, the support group wouldn't have been able to do what they had or what they could do for Brother Liam. So it is only apt that that Brother de Klerk also be mentioned. And some of the things that I can mention there is his hospitalization went smoothly. He had to get x-rays, all those things that have been done. He had to go for scans, etc., etc. And because Brother de Klerk had everything in place, Brother Liam didn't have to struggle. May I get a sip of water, please? I've left my water there. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you. And then he also had a friend, a lady friend by the name of Mani. Unfortunately, I don't remember her surname. I don't know her surname, from Canada. And this was a friend of Brother Liam from Canada. And because Brother Liam loved music, and Mani was the one that they used to talk about music and listen to all that music that she had with her. And she also, even for example, when during the last hours, which we did not know then that it was the last hours of Brother Liam, that she played, you know, his favorite music that we didn't know of. She was here to see him for the last time and flew back only yesterday. She used to send him books. And of course, she shared his music and her music with him. And then there's another person also who belongs to this support group, and that is Olga Makhele. She played a sterling role, a very important role. She was looking after the physical needs of Brother Liam and Brother Madden. So when Brother Liam came back from Bloemfontein, though Brother Dominic was there to assist, Olga Makhele did her best. She cooked twice a week, and she cooked big meals on Sundays, and then she would bring it to the residents, and the meals would be frozen, and they would freeze it, and all they had to do was to warm it and eat it. So having said that, that is why I'm saying that this was not a one man's job. It was a group of people together. That's why I'm saying that it is not a nurse, but it is a support group, and everybody did their best. And then, of course, I cannot forget the principal of the high school, Adelaide Dondolo, the right hand or the implementer of Brother de Klerk's logistics. She is the one that kept, that informed Brother de Klerk about what was going on, and Brother de Klerk then would be, you know, so everything ran smoothly. Nothing was written down, but though nothing was written down, everything went on as if though things were written down to say that this is your role, you come here and you come in there. Having said that, brothers and sisters, you will realize that I had very little to do because this was a coordinated task or activity and activities. And though Brother Liam was perhaps a patient because he was ill, but he wasn't actually that kind of patient that needed to be turned around, bathed, and no, he wasn't that kind. Brother Liam was a very strong person, patient man. We would go for his chemotherapy. And when we come back from the chemotherapy, you know, the oncologist would have said that, they said that you must rest because we're going to do, you know, the side effects of the medicines is going to do this and that to do. He will rest maybe for about a day and a half. The following day, when I come around in the morning, then I'll find Brother Liam with the garden shears, busy pruning the shrubs, busy, you know, sitting on a chair and busy repairing the vacuum cleaner or the lawnmower. Or he would be busy with the laundry, all the laundry of the house. He would be doing that. That was Brother Liam. Regardless of, that is why I'm saying that for me to say that he was being nursed really, it's not perhaps the right, you know, concept, because he didn't do what he was supposed to be doing.
All of my days are held in your hands, crafted into your perfect plan. You gently call me into your presence, guiding me by
you.